in our history, when you talk about things like rape and paedophilia, when the Sikhs saw this happening, even if it wasn't their own community, it's a Sikh responsibility to stand up and stop that.
Go, mate, go, mate. Open the door. Don't you move. Stay here. Sure, you're under citizen's arrest. What the fuck are you playing at? Our ideology don't tell you to do stuff like this. Our ideology tells you to bury people to do stuff like this. For anybody throughout any community, without fear or favour you, we will come after you.
Hello, everyone, and Unscripted, where the story behind the journey matters most, where we don't just talk about industries, headlines, or hype. We humanize the people behind them. I'm your host, Leslie Mota, who is sponsored by WAGMI. Guramit Singh is an investigative journalist, filmmaker, and founder of the Predator Hunter Project. Over the past 100 days, he has dedicated himself to exposing online predators, raising awareness, and giving a voice to victims whose stories are ignored. His journey has been anything but conventional. Through personal adversity, public scrutiny, and wavering, he has channeled experience into a mission focused on protecting the most vulnerable among us. What began as a commitment to shine a light on difficult truth has grown a movement supported by people who believe that child safety should never be a partisan issue or an afterthought. Through investigations, documentaries, and advocacy, Guramit continues to challenge people to confront uncomfortable realities, ask difficult questions, take action where it matters most. Tonight, we are going to reflect on the first 100 days of the project, the lives impacted along the way, and the rise ahead. So please help me welcome the one and only Guramit, the Predator Hunter. How are you?
Thank you very much, Leslie. That was an absolutely amazing introduction. I'm very happy with that. Thank you very much. I'm kind of blushing, but you won't see from the colour of my skin. And I have to say, I apologise for the other day. I was supposed to be on the show on Tuesday. Leslie's in America. I'm in the UK. I kind of fell asleep. But we're here tonight, and I'm ready to go.
Well, I'm so excited. I am happy that we were able to reschedule. John is throwing me. John's in the comment, and he said that I spelled your name wrong on the banner, so I will get that.
Don't worry about it. We'll work it out afterwards.
You know him. You know John and how he is, but I'm glad to see him on here. But It's been a journey, because the first time that I had you on the show, just getting started with the project, you were just taking all this, making it into a reality. Last time we spoke, the Predator Hunter project was just recently launched. Now you're over 100+ days in. What's the biggest reality you've discovered that nobody could have prepared you for, looking?
I've been a lot busier, because everybody knows that the Predator Hunter series started actually about 2 years ago, when a couple from my hometown, Beester, Kira, came to me, and she was worried about the previous sexual offender that had committed heinous crimes against her was committing the same crimes in a different part of Nottingham. I got involved and made a documentary called Kira's Justice. That man finally went to prison a year later, because I caught him committing crimes while he was on bail from prison. Other victims came to me, and other people that needed support, etc. So, the documentary series went on. We had A Mother's Anguish, where I removed a 13-year-old girl from a paedophile's house. Zia Khan, who I put questions to him after he sexually molested 6-7 girls in a hotel in one night. Child traffickers, where basically we exposed President Zelensky in Ukraine, his wife, being involved in trafficking children to Moldova to then be sold into the UK for the child sex trade, and they were being brought over by UK police. And then we had the Ali Dawah documentary. So I had a substantial career that went back about 2 years before TPH The Coin started. But one thing, like I said, I've become very busier. In the last 100 days, I've created more content than I have done in the last 2 years. So that tells you how busy we have been. The documentaries that I created before are absolutely excellent. But with me finding a different resource to help me fund my projects and my live stings, hence the TPH coin, I've managed to get a lot busier myself. We've been creating more documentaries and we've been doing live stings on a weekly basis. So it's just exploded. I'm one of the busiest in the game, if not the. I've raised a team of decoys around me. I've got 7 in total. They're constantly coming to me with evidence of sick perverts that are approaching them online. We had a shocking story with one of the decoys. Within an hour, she had 147 requests from perverts online. That's how bad the problem is there. So we're chippering away, we're hammering at them, and then this Friday we've got a whole new documentary being released as well. So it's all working to plan for now.
Did you ever think that you were going to join the space, and I'm going to call it the crypto space, the blockchain space, and really take a step back and understand that this was a possibility that it would help for the greater good?
I didn't know. Well, I was quite skeptical at first when it came to the crypto thing, because as you know, I'm a landlord. I rent properties for a living. That's how I make my money. I had to work out a different way of being able to finance my projects, because majority of the funding was coming from myself, and that was having a bit of a detrimental effect on my family lifestyle. So since TPH has come along, even though it hasn't completely covered the burden, it's 100% helping towards the burden. We've been putting out so much content. We've been arresting and sending that many paedophiles to the police. We literally can't even keep up with our workload. So after seeing it 100 days in, it's 100% helping. But what's happened is we're starting to get busier and busier and busier and busier and busier. I've created in the last 100 days 3 documentaries, which we'll talk about in a sec. One's being released tomorrow. We've been doing weekly stings. And this has all been down to TPH being able to support me with the resources to put towards my passion, which is catching paedophiles and rapists. But as time is going on, we are getting busier and busier and busier. So we need all the help out there from anybody influential, anybody in the crypto space to come on board and help support our community, help support our team, and help me arrest more paedophiles, because right now, we still can't even get around the workload that we've quite got at the moment. So there's plenty of scope to get bigger and bigger and bigger and better. And I'm very optimistic with TPH getting me there.
I freaking love it. And I love what the project is doing. You know, with the market, you know, it has its ups and downs. Sometimes we're up, sometimes we're down. Sometimes we've seen those low lows. Has that at any moment kind of like made you take a step back and you think the process, just, you know, the token goes low and then it's like, okay, is it going to go up? Am I going to get the funding? Is this going to be feasible? Are we going to be able to continue, or you just keep pushing? And
I understand it's a new project. It's only 100 days in, or just over 100 days in. You are right. It's not the sort of thing which I can rely on an absolute guarantee your funds on a certain day for a certain project or for a certain sting that I'm going to do. Every project differentiates when it comes to the pricing of it. It could be down to location, it could be down to travel, it could be down to how many security, cameramen, producers I need, how many editors I need. And every live sting always differentiates on a weekly basis as well. So it's kind of impossible for me to judge until I'm actually there and doing it, how much each sting costs. This is what I can tell you about TPH. Yes, it has had its lows, and there has been times where I've needed funding and the funding's not been there. But John, who helped me create this coin, well, which actually created the coin, who I went to in the first place, he's put massive amount of funds in himself. I'm still putting my funds in as well. So if Guramit Singh and the founder of TPH are willing to put their own money into it, it shows you the legitimacy and the optimism that we have in this coin. Me and John talk quite regularly. We both have the same belief of what we believe where this coin could go. I mean, I've got ideas of employing decoys full-time, employing full-time security, employing full-time cameramen, you know, having drivers, etc., so we can hit the streets on a daily basis and bring down these disgusting individuals that the police are refusing to deal with. You know, so that it's going to take a bit of work. And the way we're going to get there is by getting more people to get behind us and to support us. I'm not one to go out there and ask for donations. When it comes to TPH, it is a case of me using my labor, me going out arresting paedophiles, and that being attractive to investors to come into the TPH coin to help us fund the next thing or the next documentary. But we are asking for influential people out there to come on board to help us, to promote us, do anything you can. If you want to see paedophiles and rapists locked away, then you're talking to the biggest in the business, and our doors are open. So if anybody wants to jump on board, we're here with open arms for you.
No, absolutely. And we are going to share socials. We're going to share everything, once we get towards the end of the show, where you are able to join, participate, even if you want to help, catch these predators. Oh, you over the last 100 days, you've been doing a lot of work, and you're saying you're catching a predator. That's a lot.
I could do more as well. I can do more. I've got it down to a bit of a fine art, you see. I mean, when I first started my documentary series, the Predator Hunter series, a couple of years ago, it took me about a week or two to make a documentary, and then it will go into editing. That will take a week or two. I can record a documentary today because I'm so used to it and so experienced in it within a day. And then obviously the editors, they take as long as they need to take. They can take 2-3 weeks, but it's also comes at a huge cost as well, as you can imagine. When the TPH coin first started and we first launched, my first Create Awards came in. I used that to go out and sting an individual called Sabir Hussein up in Rochdale. This man was sending images of his penis and videos to what he believed was a 13-year-old decoy. And we made a documentary about this as well, which is called The New Era, which you can find on all platforms. And what we actually did was, through our private investigator, another person that needs paying weekly, unfortunately, through our private investigator, we were managed to lock down this individual's address and where he worked in Rochdale. And it was quite funny because if you watch the New Era episode, the minute I pulled up to Rochdale with my security and my cameraman and a producer, literally he drove past us. So we didn't have to go looking for him. We just followed him around the corner. He dropped off an old lady, then he picked up a child, then he dropped off the child at home, and that's when we blocked him in and we performed a citizen's arrest and handed him to the police. He'll be going to court soon. That was the first thing that we did since the TPH coin has been involved with myself in the series, and it was 100% successful. From there, the stings have been weekly. Now, we're 100% successful with what we do, but sometimes the sting can take longer than others. The sting after that one, I believe, was a Mr. Pardeep Kumar. That was an individual who was basically sending sexual explicit communications and asking to meet a child, which is also an illegal offence in this country, to what he believed was a 14-year-old girl. We performed an arrest on him. A week later, a couple of weeks later, we had Adam Farouk. That was another Muslim individual that was attempting to meet a 13-year-old child. He was sending explicit pictures of his penis, videos of his penis. There was one individual. Some of these things can take a little bit longer than what you think. Because you also have to understand, before TPH coin got involved, I was only doing documentaries. So since TPH has got involved, I'm doing my documentaries at far greater rate. I'm also stinging paedophiles live. So we're doing that weekly. And we can do more, but it is still down to resources and timing. There was one individual, the sting of Akim Javid, where this individual had cancelled on me 6 times in 3 weeks. So 2 times a week, he said he was meeting up with our decoy. And I was going to show up with my security team to perform a citizen's arrest for the disgusting messages and communications and pictures of his micropenis he was sending to what he believed was a 14-year-old girl. But he kept cancelling. Now, every time I take a team out, unfortunately, even if I don't perform the sting, people still need paying. It's different for me. I've got a business. I don't need paying. That takes care of me and my family. Everything that I do, the labour that I put in, is down to my passion and me wanting to rid this country, to start with, of all this filth once and for all. But there are other people that aren't quite in that beneficial circumstance, such as myself, and so they do need paying, cameramen, producers, security. So if a paedophile doesn't turn up, I still got to cover the bills for the team. And this one individual cancelled on me 6 times, and his messages were getting that violent to our 12-year-old decoy that I had to make the decision to hand the dossier of evidence that we had over to West Midlands Police. Now, at first, I thought my people were telling me to, no, just keep with it, you will catch him. And I didn't want it to be turned into some sort of ego trip. I needed to do what was responsible. And so at that point, I thought to myself, this individual could actually be talking to children, to actual children at the time as well, how he was talking to my decoy. And his messages were getting so violent, they got me very concerned. So I ended up taking the dossier to West Midlands Police. 24 hours later, West Midlands police contacted my decoy and told her to tell Guramit Singh to carry on with the sting. We can't find him. So I gave West Midlands police his Snapchat and his phone number, and with all their resources that West Midlands police have, they still couldn't find him, and they asked me to go out and get him because they couldn't get him. So then we went full mode in it. We brought in a private investigator. I took the whole decoy team off all the work they were doing, and I said, everybody get online and find me where this motherfucker lives. Finally, with a little bit of help from my private detective and with great work from a couple of the decoys, we were able to track down that this had a LinkedIn page that matched the profile pictures that he had on his Snapchat, from which he was sending disgusting messages from. So from his LinkedIn page, my decoys and the private investigator managed to get a company name. Then we got a company address, which was a property he lived in. So then we had all the details. So what I said is, let's just try stinging him one more time. And if he doesn't turn up, we'll just go back to West Midlands Police, and I can then say, hello, I've got his name, I've got his company address, I've got his company name, I've got his address, I've got everything you need. You can now finally go and arrest him with the evidence I provided you. This time, he actually did turn up. But the minute he saw my face, he recognised me, and he was like, God, bush, like a bat out of hell. But then we went to his property, and he was hiding in his property. I banged on his door. He was watching me through his Ring doorbell, and then I called the police, and the police entered. The police came, and then they entered the property. They arrested him, and that was the end of that. So the stings, and so we've got to that point in the past 100 days where police officers are coming to us for help. We've got to that point in the past 100 days where the biggest in the business are ringing me up and saying, how the hell are you catching so many? And it is down to the decoy team that I've made and organizations that I've been working alongside, such as Sikh Army. And it's just growing and growing and growing. If I had more resources, it wouldn't be a case of one a week. I can pump out 2, 3 a week, but it is a case of the bills need to be paid somehow. So that's why I'm not asking the working man for any donations or any help. Everybody's struggling in this world. But if there is any substantial, financially substantial, influential figures out there that do want to come on board and help the TPH project, help me arrest more paedophiles and rapists, then come on board. You can tell how serious we are just by the amount of money myself and John have put into this, John especially. So we're actually putting our own money in when the market isn't good and there's no creative awards coming in. So, so it just shows you how much conviction and how much passion we have for the project in hand. There's a lot more work that we can do. And I've only just spoke to you about 3 stings there, where I've got about 7, 8 others that we can talk about as well that we've done in the last 100 days.
But the beauty in all this is, last time that I had you on the show, I think we also, and John was on the show, we talked about how sometimes, and why police, they don't invest a lot of time in catching or searching, and then you telling the story, it takes a lot of work, a lot of hours, a lot of manpower. So now it seems like things have shifted where it's now they're working or asking for your help to catch these disgusting predators. Now, because you've been doing so much and you have to do a lot of work, you have to investigate, and then you're seeing these disgusting messages. Are you more hopeful or more concerned about the future?
No, I'm quite
women.
I mean, I'm quite hopeful for the future. I'm very optimistic about it. I understand we live in some deplorable times. I mean, Great Britain is the rape capital of Europe at the moment. This week alone, we've seen a homosexual couple adopt a 18-month-year-old baby and rape and torture it for months and months on end. They just received a life sentence. We hear about these disgusting crimes coming out of various communities on a daily basis. Last week, we had another grooming scandal that was exposed in Bradford that goes back about 20 decades that affected about 250 girls. This week we've had the Rupert Lowe's rape gang inquiry come out, which I'm still halfway through reading, even though I've been having a few days off to myself. I've not quite got through it yet, but I am optimistic. I mean, the first episode was New Era. The second, I mean, this is perfect timing for this. The second episode was called A Paedophile Next Door. Now, the paedophile next door was a lady called Rebecca Alt that approached me. She lived in a housing association house, which is kind of like social sector housing, like in America, as they say. And they housed her and her 4 children next to a prolific paedophile. This wasn't just an individual that went to prison once or twice. He's been committing crimes for 30 to 40 years. His crimes were that disgusting that the judge himself called him Dirty Derek. This man, the judge actually said to him in court, you're that old and you're so fascinated with these online images and videos of category A paedophilic images. He goes, there's no change in you. You've been doing it for 30 years. You're never going to change. The judge still let him go home. This lady and the women on the estate are worried about this individual. They can't let their kids go out and play on the street because it's known that this man's been committing these crimes for decades and decades and decades on end, and no punishment will change how he thinks or how he feels. He admitted to the judge, he goes, it's like alcohol to an alcoholic. I'm just addicted to it. I can't get over it. He's admitted over and over again that he can't get over it. And what do our government do? What do our judiciary do? What do our police officers do? What do our social sector do? Put him in a house next to where there's 4 children. How ridiculous is that? So when it comes to the paedophile next door, I sat down with this lovely lady, Rebecca, at a lovely property, Rebecca Rhodes, and she told me about her worries and concerns about the paedophile that was living next door and how she was scared to have the children roam the street, and so were other people in the neighbourhood. You know, when you've got this man living there, and when you've got evidence, when you've got proof of him committing these crimes for 30, 40 years, you're not going to have your young children right outside the house riding the bike, are you? You're going to keep them hidden and safe away from it. So she approached me and I sat down with her, and then I also went to have a talk with Ben Habib, who was leader of Advance UK, which potentially could have been one of the next leading political party in the UK. He's actually folded Advance UK now, and he's joined forces with Rupert Lowe at Restore. So he's just shifted to a different party. But so that's why I'm optimistic, because it's not just a case of me going out and locking up these individuals and showing the world the police's failures on a daily basis. I'm actually making them kind of political ties. So in the future, when these individuals do get into power, I am in a position where I can lobby them and they will answer my call, and I can kind of push towards harsher sentences, mandatory life sentences for anybody who commits these disgusting crimes towards women and children. So I am optimistic in the future. And the reason I'm so optimistic, because I've got my hand on the ball, you know what I mean? I'm dealing with it. I've managed to streamline the way I do my live stream. So from a phone call to execution, I can do within hours. It's not a problem for me. A lot of people think a lot goes into it, but because we're so advanced in our education when it comes to the production and when it comes to the stings and when it comes to the decoys and the legalities of it all, me and my whole team just fly straight through it. But like I said, it is just a case of resources. So the more resources I have, the more I can do. But we're working through it, and I'm on it, and I'm going to see it through. I'll die on this hill myself, but I'm never going to stop. This is my passion, and yeah, I'm going to go all the way with it.
I think what you're doing, mentally be very hard. But reflecting back on the 100 days, has there been one day or one case that really stands out and that has been very hard? And how do you deal with the after?
Well, to tell you the truth, I think I mentioned it before. There's a short film that I made a while ago called Up Close and Personal with Guramit Singh. I actually made that film when TPH started as well, because I made that film with a producer up in Manchester the first time that I worked with him. And I've worked. There's actually another document. I've literally just remembered he's finishing off another documentary for me, which will be free next week. So I completely even forgot about that one. And when I sat down with Josh and I wanted to do an Up Close and Personal to talk about where I've been with my Pred Hunter series and where we're moving in the future, where now TPH is involved. And it's called Up Close and Personal with Guramit Singh. You can watch it on all platforms. And there was a moment a year and a half ago, mid through a couple of documentaries I was making for Urban Scoop, where I did break down myself. I was drinking quite excessively. I was going out a lot. I wasn't paying enough attention to my wife, to my mother, to my business. And, it was all kind of getting on top of me a bit, because you're dealing with victims of sexual abuse who give you the most harrowing, disgusting stories that you've ever heard in your life, and you're having to deal with this individual's emotions and attitudes, and you have to give them your time and then remove time from your family. And one thing I was doing a lot of was putting so much money into what I was doing that my family lifestyle, it went really downhill, and I was getting a lot of backlash from that, from not just my wife but from my mother as well. I had to cancel holidays. I can't help with that bill. Everything was changing negatively for them at home, and this shouldn't have that effect. So when all that was coming on top of me, I kind of disappeared for a couple of weeks. Yes, I did indulge in alcohol and stuff, and then but I had a word with myself, and I said to myself, look, you're really working on something here. People are coming to you. People are trusting you. There's very, very influential people that are relying on you now. So I need to get myself into gear. So that's when I kind of decided that I am going to need some help. I am going to need some outside resources. I am going to have to prioritize my finances for my family a lot more than what I was doing. I can give some money to it. That's my charity, but I can't be giving too much to it, even though I am that passionate and I want to help as many people as possible. So after that breakdown, and I came back and I said to myself, okay, you need to concentrate on the victim's feelings, victim's emotions. You need to be able to take on the work that you can handle, that you can realistically execute, so everybody's happy with the time frame within what you're doing, because you'd be amazed when it comes to the documentaries how many phone calls I get. Is it ready yet? Is it ready? When's it coming out? Or when's it coming out? You know, it's crazy. And sometimes you have to manage people's expectations a lot. That's what Tommy used to tell me. He says you need to manage their expectations a lot. But sometimes when it comes to these victims and you hear their stories, you want to exceed their expectations, and that's what I tried to do. So I did limit the amount of people I was trying to help, and then I was cruising through it again back to normal. Then we did the Ali Dawah documentary, and then after that, obviously, I got hold of John, and we created the TPH coin, and then from there. But since that little breakdown I had from the other year, it kind of put a kind of shield on my heart, on my soul, where when it comes to dealing with these monsters and the sort of things that I hear and I witness on a daily basis, that doesn't affect me anymore. I go after them. I'm ruthless. I'm relentless. I'm very passionate with what I do. But I do put the victims' feelings and their circumstances at the first and foremost. Now, most of the victims that we're dealing with at the moment aren't actual victims. They're actually decoys. But I mean, we had a situation recently with Durag J. This man was harassing my decoy so much. He was ringing her so much. He was sending constant pictures of his micro penis. He was sending videos of his penis, of him masturbating. And it made my decoy physically sick. So that's when I told my decoy. It made my decoy physically sick. That day of the sting, which was 2 weeks ago, it was not last Sunday, the Sunday before, the sting of Durag J. You can see it on all platforms. When we went to sting him, I went a little bit ruthless on him. It's the first time. Usually I'm quite calm and composed with these individuals, but I went absolutely apeshit on this one because I saw the amount it affected my decoy. My decoy is now actually having 2 to 3 weeks off. And I've been talking her through it because it's the kind of same sort of emotions that I was going through the other year, but I didn't realize it at the time. But so now, you know, I do put them sort of feelings, and their feelings, emotions don't really come up too much. All I'm doing is concentrating on just making sure, preventing this happening to any girls or women in the future, and helping any victims of sexual abuse as much as I can. But so it doesn't really affect me. I am managing things a lot better, so we're getting through it a lot easier myself. Yeah.
How do you, when the cases come to you and, right now you're doing one or a couple a week, how do you select one without feeling like you're leaving others, behind?
I can realistically do 3 a week. That's what I can do. Obviously, there's a cost to it all. So right now, for the last couple of months, John's been funding the documentaries. I've been funding the stings. This is all our own money. And yes, TPH has been coming in with creator awards. We need more volume. We need more people to get involved in TPH who believe in the work we're doing, so we can progress the coin to a level where at least the documentary series and the live things can sustain themselves. We don't need money. We don't need to get rich. We're all businessmen. We're all working. We've got our own income. You know what I mean? We're here because we're here to do a job. And it's not like we're talking about doing a job. We're actually doing the job. And I've been doing it for a number of years. I am the biggest person out there doing it from what I've seen so far. And the social media output that's been going and the amount of reactions we've been getting to the reels and the documentaries kind of proves to me more that we're definitely on that right path. Now, when it comes to me selecting which individual that we go after, because of the lack of the resources, what we have to do is pick the one that we think is going to turn up. So obviously, like we had Akib Jabin, he didn't turn up twice a week for 3 weeks. That was 6 times he didn't turn up. So you can put that down to about a £5,000 loss right there. And that it's not about finance. It's not about money. I don't take any money from this. I put my money in. John don't take no money from it. He puts his money in. But there's individuals that aren't in that position that work within my team that they don't have that flexibility with their time. So when a cameraman comes to work for me, he needs his money for the day. Everybody in security they need their money for the day. Fuel needs paying, hotels, drinks, and people need feeding, so this is all down to the TPH team to take care of these individuals that are helping us put these sick individuals away. Because if I didn't have these individuals with me, I wouldn't be able to continue what I was doing, especially when it comes to the live stings. There was a situation with one of the individuals we found for what we believe was a bag of fentanyl in the boot of his car with one of the stings. So it's only a matter of time till we come across an individual where there's going to be a gun involved, where there's going to be a knife involved. That's why I need to have the right people around me, and sometimes it's costs. Now, when it comes to picking out the right individual who we sting on a weekly basis, we tend to go for the individual that we believe is actually going to turn up. So even though one individual's messages may be a lot more serious than another individual messages, whichever individual is the keenest to turn up to meet what he believes is a child, that's the individual I go for. And I can literally pick out which one we do per week. When it came to Durag J the other day, He was one that I superseded over everybody else because his messages were so, he was harassing my decoy so much. Constant stream of messages, constant stream of phone calls, FaceTiming all day, all night long, when he was at work, when he was in bed, when he was going to work, when he was coming back from work, pictures. He inundated her phone. Whenever we citizens arrest these individuals and we hand them over to the police, we give them a file. Now, the file's got all the screenshots and the evidence of what the decoy has recorded from the conversations that they've been having. There's also a USB stick in there, so we've got everything in the digital form, and a couple of legal forms called MG11s. Now, they're witness statements. One I sign, one the decoy will sign, and that will give a statement to the police to let them know what's actually happening. It will save us. It saves us from actually going to the police station at the time of the sting. So this file was the biggest one I've seen. Usually a folder's like this thick. This one was like this thick. It was ridiculous. And my decoy, I swear to you, Leslie, in the car, when we pulled up, she was physically ill. I told her, just go home. She goes, no, I want to see you catch that bastard, and then I'm going to go home. And then literally she's been like down for like a week and a half, 2 weeks now. And because his messages were getting, because he was harassing her at such a high rate, because his messages were just getting worse and worse and worse, that's why I superseded him to the top of the list. We did think he was going to turn up, because he cancelled a couple of times that week already, but luckily he told us before we left with the whole team. So I managed to get everyone cancelled, even though people are still taking time out of the day. I've still managed to get everybody cancelled and rearranged for a different day. So I superseded this individual due to the fact of his harassment, but he wasn't 100% going to turn up. And when he did turn up to the meeting point, he went past on his, he said he's got a motorbike. These paedophiles are lying bastards. He said he had a motorbike, he had an electric scooter. And so you'll be amazed by the amount of bullshit they come out with. It's unbelievable. So he drove past the Kentucky Fried Chicken. Was it Kentucky Fried Chicken? No, Costa Coffee. He drove past the Costa Coffee, and we were parked up round the corner. The back of my car was all blacked out, so all security team were just looking out the blacked out windows at the back to see if we could get eyes on him. We knew what we looked like because we had pictures from the Snapchat account. And then we saw another electric scooter drive past. And then I had another security guy who lived at the Birmingham time, who was driving down at the time. I said, when you drive in, I'm going to send you a picture of him. When you drive in, there's been a person on an electric scooter drive past a couple of times, but he hasn't come into the Costa Coffee car park where we were parked, where we were going to perform our citizen's arrest on him. And then when my other security guy came in, who was based in Birmingham, he ID'd him straight away and said, that's him. Now, the other security guy is a big dude. So when he told me that's him, my car went skizzing around the corner. We were bombing down the road to go and get him. By the time we got there, the other security guy got out of his car and dragged him off his electric scooter and just held him up against the wall. So then, I went militant on this one. You can watch this, The Sting of Do-Rag J. It's on all platforms. And then he was arrested. And he's also not even a citizen of this country. So this individual was going to be deported as well. So I superseded him this time due to his messages. But usually I book them in by whichever one's more likely to turn up.
Oh my God. Like, just thinking about it makes me really sick. Like, I feel it in my throat because I still don't.
I mean, that's the thing. A couple of years ago, when I had that moment, a lot of it was getting to me. I had a lot of that emotions in me, and I said to myself, and one of the reasons I was getting so down and out is because these emotions were affecting me in such a negative way. I was becoming negative with my family, with my finances, with everything around me, and then I worked my way out of it. And since I did work my way out of it, I thought to myself, I never asked for this. I never asked Tommy to get me on board and I'm going to go out stinging paedophiles. Before all this came along, I was a happy landlord, just got married. I was living the good life. I was holidaying every month. Everything was perfect. But when this has been put in my hands, and because I've been so successful at it, I've had to keep it going one way or another. When I had that bit of a breakdown, I taught myself to not get emotionally attached, to not get emotionally involved to what you're going to see, what you're going to witness, and what you're going to read, etc. The videos you're going to watch. You need to be able to separate yourself from it, because if you don't, it will send you crazy. And I think because of the fact I was able to do that, that's why I'm becoming so successful at it now. And I'm able to go out and do as much of it as I want, because it doesn't affect me as much. What does affect me is listening to the victim's story. But anybody with a heart is going to sympathize and empathize with them anyway. We're just human beings. That's in us. But when it comes to these sick individuals and the videos and the pictures and the messages that I read on a daily basis, that doesn't get to me no more. If anything, it's just like chucking fuel on a fire. It just makes me more determined to go out and just get more of them.
I mean, the first few times that you predators, when you first started doing, did you ever have that feeling or desire to beat the living crap out of them? And how did you hold back? You did.
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, you know, I've got a couple of court cases pending right now. There's one court case with the documentary I made called "A Mother's Anguish," where I removed a 13-year-old girl from an individual's house called Peter Allen, who was a self-confessed paedophile. He admitted that he wanted to have sex and have a sexual relationship with a 13-year-old girl. I removed this girl from the house. And because of that, he's had me arrested for harassment, which I'm going to court for in August. There's another individual that sexually abused 6 women in one night in a hotel. And because I put some questions to him, he's had me arrested for harassment as well. And that court case has just been adjourned until December. This is from 2 documentaries from more than a year and a half ago now. So I'm a journalist. I'm putting questions towards sexual offenders, and I'm getting done for harassment. Harassment without violence is not a serious crime. Maximum sentence of a £200 fine, but it still costs me in the region of £10,000 to £15,000 in legal costs just to fight it. It's a way of the police to try and get me to stop from what I'm doing. You know, I'm going to win both the court cases. I'm quite confident with it, but I understand the legalities behind what I do now as well. So I understand how many times I can approach a person. I understand what I can say to them, what I can't say to them. I understand how I'm allowed to arrest them, what I'm allowed to do, where I'm allowed to hold them, how I'm allowed to hold them. I understand fully that if I put my hands on one of them, then it won't be them going to prison, it's going to be me. And because of my profile, it's not going to be a situation of I go to court, they'll give me bail tomorrow. They will throw me in prison until the court case. I know that. The police are desperate to put me away. I'm showing the whole world their failures on a daily basis. Something's coming out next week, Leslie. I'll talk to you. I'll tell you privately about it. Well, I mentioned it in the private chat today, in our team chat. Something's coming out next week. It's going to be massive. The police really aren't going to like this one. But from Rupert Lowe's recent inquiry, we've seen the police's failures when it comes to victims of sexual abuse, of rape, and all the rest of it. Well, I've got evidence of that happening right now as well. So I'm going to be releasing that next week. We've been working on this for a few weeks. We've got it all together. We had a private investigator he's literally gone underground for about 3 weeks for the TPH team to find out precisely what I needed to, because I managed to record and correlate the evidence, what I needed to prove to the world that these practices of these girls and these grooming gang scandals that were let down police, these practices are still happening right now in my own city in Nottingham. So we are going to be releasing this next week. So I know legally, we're going back to the original question, I know legally what I can do and what I can't do. And the thing is, even though I'd love to kick one of their fucking heads in, I'm not because of their safety, it's because of my safety. I can't go to prison again, you know what I mean? I can't be ripped away from the work I'm doing, from my business, from my family. Me and my wife are trying for children right now, you know what I mean? So I need to play it by the book, and I'm going to play it by the book, because if you don't play it by the book, they're just going to end up walking, and I'm not going to have that. I want every single one of them going to prison.
You know, that's crazy, because you just said, you know, it's like a double standard. It's like some police seek you for help in catching these predators, and then some of them said, why they want you arrested if you're doing something good for society? Because in my mind, I cannot comprehend when an adult thinks it's okay for you to even be attracted to a child. Like, it is so disgusting. Or for, you know, other adults that are in the authority role not to partake in helping you do something good, you know, and want you locked up.
I mean, the reason they want me arrested when it comes to these individual cases that I've got, which I'm going to court for, is because I've shown their failure over and over again. When it came to A Mother's Anguish, which you can watch on all platforms, I removed a 13-year-old girl from a self-confessed paedophile's house. Her mother had called the police 37 times, and the police did nothing about it. I went round there and I removed that girl with the mother's permission. The girl never went back. We moved the girl to her grandfather's house in Liverpool. She stayed there away from his family and everything. She came back. She's back at school. She's living a good life now. And that's all down to the work that I did with the Mother's Anguish documentary. The police hated that, because on that, I cursed out the police. So that's the reason they probably told Peter Allen have been done for harassment. Usually, when it comes to these silly crimes of harassment and violence, people usually just go guilty at the police station. They'll get a £100 fine, and that'll be the end of it. I was like, no, because I haven't harassed anybody. I'm an investigative journalist. I made a documentary on the evidence that I found that's been given to me by a victim and the victim's family. There's nothing wrong with what I'm doing. People have been doing it for years. Just because I've shown the police's failures, that's why you're trying to have this bullshit charge put on my head. So that's why I've decided to fight the case. And, you know, even though it is a massive cost to me and it doesn't seem financially relevant when the worst that can happen to me is £150 fine, I'm still going to fight it. And that's the same thing with Zia Khan as well. Zia Khan tried to stay out the way of the press. He paid his solicitors to keep him out the newspapers. Local police officers were protecting his identity. When I found out he committed sexual abuse to 6 different women in one night in a hotel, I made him famous for it. And because of that, police have had me arrested for harassment again. Over and over again, I'm showing the police's failures. That's why they've got hard on for me. But it is down to the individual police forces in the area I'm working. So these 2 documentaries were made in Nottingham, and it is down to that Nottingham police force, where recently it was a Birmingham police force, West Midlands police force, that asked for my help. Yesterday, I got a phone call. This is a good one. The stinger Salfan Hussein in Birmingham. This individual turned up to meet what he believed was a 14-year-old Sikh girl. And then obviously Guramit Singh and the team of security dudes turn up. This individual had hid his face, so he was on Snapchat talking to our decoy, sending explicit communications, messages, videos, kind of harassing. He was ringing and doing a lot of FaceTiming as well. And this individual was using a fake profile picture. But where he made his mistake was he put some snaps up of him in a car. Now, we were able to establish that that car was a white BMW 1 Series. And he also made the mistake of saying his first name. The first name was Salfan, and then online he called himself Salfan Khan, but his real name was Salfan Hussein. So when he turned around to our decoy that was meeting him at Leicester train station a couple of months back, decoy rung me and said he's down London Road, he's down the side of the train station now, go get him. And then we're relying on the fact our intelligence shows that he's in a white BMW and his name is Salfan. We saw a white 1 Series BMW and we saw the registration plate, Sal. But when I actually blocked the car in with my car and Sikh Army's car and I opened the door, it wasn't the same individual that was sending the pictures. It was a completely different face. But luckily we had the intelligence that he was going to be there. We had the idea of what his car was going to be. So even though it wasn't the same face as what he had on Snapchat, it was a completely different looking human being, we still know it was him that committed the crime. He tried to hide a mobile phone immediately. I grabbed that phone. We arrested him. He shit himself. This is the first time a paedophile has actually wet his pants. He pissed himself, and we believe he shit himself as well when I performed my citizen's arrest. It stunk out the whole place. He did defecate in that car that day. Police came, arrested him, took him away. The police officers rang me actually yesterday when I was in the pub, and the Leicester police officers, very kind gentleman on the phone, he rung me up and he says, look, I've just got 2 questions to ask you. When it comes to this Salfan Hussein that you've arrested, we've got all the evidence and stuff. Are you willing to give us a face-to-face statement as well? I said, of course I will, officer. I can come down whenever you want. He goes, we're happy to come to your address. I said, fair enough. Come up to Nottingham. I'll have the missus put a cup of tea on for you. And also he said that the solicitors asked for me to remove all the videos from the internet because that could maybe harm his sentence in the future. He may get away with it. And I said, well, I'm not doing that at all. That's bullshit. I don't believe that because the videos are out there is going to have any effect on his sentencing when he gets done in court. And so I said, tell his solicitor to go fuck herself. We don't take videos down, we put them up. And so that police officer, like I said, Leicester police, working well with me, working nice with me. West Midlands police, they wanted my help, working well with me. But Nottingham police, they've got a little bit of a hard on for me. I have been a little bit of a pain in their side, but if they would do their job properly and protect and serve the public as they're supposed to, I won't be that pain in their arse. So until they sort themselves out, I'm going to continue to be a pain in their arse.
Instead of trying to work with you, right? Put the differences aside.
Yeah.
You know what? We don't have the manpower. We don't have the time. Somebody else is doing it and funding themselves. Why not work with them?
It's literally been proven. The whole police force, numerous police forces around the country have put out statements saying they're hardly getting any funding to tackle online sexual abuse. So they haven't got the resources to fight it themselves. I'm fighting it with mine and my team's resources and TPH Create Awards resources. I don't own no coins. I just get some Create Awards. So John's still funding it himself. I'm still funding it himself. This is what I'm saying. If anybody wants to know how serious we are with this coin, I said to John when we first started, I've heard about things in the crypto market. This isn't no fly-by scheme. This thing's here forever. As long as I'm breathing and we're doing it, my name's on it, it has to be forever. We're putting our own money into catching these individuals. It shows anybody out there how serious we are. So if anybody can get involved to share the burden with us a little bit, and if you like to catch paedophiles and rapists, you can come along the stings. I can have you FaceTime the paedophile when I arrest them. We can wear your branding, whatever. We've just got a lot of paedophiles and rapists that our decoy teams have correlated over the last couple of months, and we've still got a long list to get through. And I'm trying to get through to them. I'm trying to get through them as quickly as possible before one of these sick individuals actually slips my net and ends up committing some heinous sexual act on an actual child. It's a matter of time. When I know that I've got a list of 20 I need to get through, I need to get through them. And I'm finding it hard to get through with the lack of resources. So if there's anybody out there, I implore you, we're not asking the working man who's got no money. We're asking people that are quite substantial in life, that have the resources to come out and help. And if they want to get involved, whatever they need from us, we're more than happy to have you involved as well. We just need to get through this list before some harm is actually done to an actual child. So that's what we need to do. In some cases, police officers are against us. In other cases, police officers are with us. To tell you the truth, at the end of the day, I don't fucking need them. I've got private investigators. I've got securities. I've got a team of decoy. I'm taking down more paedophiles and rapists in this city in the Midlands than what the police are right now. That's a fact. So we don't need them. As long as we're doing our job, we can get this done. Just give me the resources, and I can get out there and get this work done at a far quicker way than what I've been doing in the last 100 days.
So if anybody wants to participate, if anybody wants to help out, this is Guramit Social, and you can reach him on X. It's GURAMITSINGH01. You can also go to the website. If you go to the website, Predator Hunter, this site, if you are in crypto space, it has all of the information to the token. Here's the contract address where you are able to go and give a donation. And what I love about crypto is crypto has no borders, right? So you do not have to go through any banking institution. You don't have to go through the difficulty of trying to transfer money or, giving a big donation. It's easy. It's like you have crypto, can donate a substantial amount. This would be the easiest way. And it is a project on the Solana blockchain.
I mean, like I said, it's an opportunity
to me,
for a lot of people. It's an opportunity for a lot of people out there. I'm not actually trying to go out and ask, like I said before, the working class for money. But if there is anybody substantially who's quite successful in the crypto market that can help us move our coin in the right direction, so it opens up more resources for us to go and catch paedophiles and rapists and come and help us. I'm sure our reels and our documentaries and our views go out to millions and millions of people on a weekly basis. We're happy to take some sponsorship on. Somebody wants us to wear their logos on our tops alongside the TPH logos. It can all be done. We just want to get through this list of monsters that I have in front of me as quickly as possible. So if you're in a position to help, please get in touch. You can get in touch with me at Guramit Singh at urbanscoop.news as well. It'd be great to have a chat about it.
And guys, like he's saying, you just don't have, if you want to sponsor the team, you already see them creating the content. You already see them filming documentaries that are watched worldwide, and you want to see your logo on it. You want to sponsor them. By all means, like if you're not doing this and if you're not helping them catch predators, what the fudge are you even doing with your life? Like, why wouldn't you want to help? Why wouldn't you want to participate in any capacity?
Thank you so much for Leslie for your kind words. It's all helpful. And like I said, and if there is anybody out there, any victims of sexual abuse that need my help, or if anybody knows anybody that may need some help, you can find me at Guramit Singh at urbanscoop.news, or get in touch with me or any of the socials. You can contact Leslie directly, and I'm sure she can put you in touch with me. I've got a team of experienced people that are always here for ongoing support with previous victims of abuse that we deal with. And if I can help in any way at all, I will do. One thing I can be for certain is the proof's in the pudding. We were 100% successful. So even if you believe the police haven't been able to help you, or probation or social services haven't been able to help you, well, you can give me a try. I'm only a phone call away.
Now, are all the links on your link tree, are they good for them to also contact and reach you out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, all the links are good, yeah.
So here are all the links. So everything is on his profile on X. You guys already saw me click that. And then if you click on that, here is his link tree where it has all of his contact information as well.
Yep.
So there is no reason for us to say there's no way to contact him or reach out. It's like like he said, you can reach out to him. If not, reach out to me and I will direct you back to him. Is there anybody else on the team that you would want them to contact if they are not able to get a hold of you?
Well, we do have a facility at the website. If you go to predhunter.com, predhunter.com, there is a facility there where you can actually input your details if you've been a victim of crime, or you know somebody that has, or you know somebody that has, or maybe there's a story somebody needs to tell. There is somewhere where you can input your details, and that'll go directly through the team, and they'll forward that on to me. So you can use that option as well. Otherwise, you can use any of my socials, even the Pred Hunter socials. You can use all the messages will get to me one way or another. And obviously, everybody, it's, this is the second podcast I did today. I was on Liam Tusk's podcast earlier on at 6 p.m. That's like one of the biggest podcasts in Europe. And I'm doing your incredible podcast now. It's actually gone midnight. So it's today at 6 p.m. on all platforms, including Tommy Robinson's X account, our latest documentary, Without Fear and Favour, that you showcase a preview of before our podcast. That's getting released today as well. So 6 p.m. tonight, England time. So I'm not too sure what time it's going to be over there, but yeah, the 19th of September, 6 p.m. UK time, all platforms, Without Fear and Favour, the latest episode of the Pred Hunter series. And I've literally just remembered we've got another episode ready on Tuesday as well. He needs paying, so we better get back to work.
And where can they watch these episodes?
Okay, so the episodes are all my previous episodes are on all platforms. There's numerous episodes out there. We do actually need to update the website. I'll make sure John gets that done tomorrow. But the episode tomorrow night is going to be on all my socials at 6 p.m. It's also going to be on Tommy Robinson's X account at 6 p.m. And we're also going to be live streaming it a bit earlier on Pump Fun. So that's going to be live streamed on Pump Fun a little bit earlier than anybody else. So Pump Fun will actually get the exclusive watch of it. And so, yeah, so it's all going to be available for all the platforms tomorrow night at 6 p.m. a little bit earlier on Pump Fun.
Okay, so Pump Fun, that is Pump Fun where people can go, right? Pump Fun. I was like, where did it go? Pump Fun. There we go. So we're going to go over the socials one more time, just in case you guys missed it. So if you do want to participate, go to the Predator Hunter, and here's the X handle, the Pred Hunter X, where you are going to be able to find all of the information. Here is the CA address where you are able to, if you have crypto, go and donate.
Oh dear, what's happened now?
If you do go to the Predator Hunter website, it's predatorhunter.com.
Yeah, predhunter.com.
Predhunter.com. Did I say Predator Hunter? Pred Hunter.
Yeah.
It's predhunter.com. Let me correct it. And then if you do click on Guramit X account, here is all of his information. And then if you do click his link tree, on his link tree, you are also going to have all of his socials hubbed in one place where you are able to go and connect with him. And for the people that don't know what he's talking about, Pump Fun, this is the site, pump.fun. This is where they're going to go live.
Yeah, all our stuff goes out exclusively on Pump Fun before we put it out on all the other major platforms. So yeah, they've been a good help.
So again, if you are not following the Predator Hunter, and if you are not helping to catch these disgusting human, I don't even want to say human, because it's like, to me, I still don't understand mentally how, it's like how you can find that attraction. It's just disgusting. Wait, what happened?
I don't know. It's just gone blank.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening with the system. It sometimes it has a mind of its own.
Yeah.
Are there any last words, parting words that you want to leave the audience with?
Not really. This is a crime. Like I said, Great Britain's the rape capital of the country now, of Europe now. It's been getting worse and worse over the decades. It's a lot different to when I was a child. We can see the streets changing on a daily basis. I'm out there and I'm fighting it. It's blown up to a level which I didn't expect, but I was ready for it. I'm one of them guys, if you put something in my hands, even if it's a bit alien to me, I will get it handled. So we're handling it. Our work's getting busier, our workload's getting busier. We're capable to do it. We just need that bit of extra support. You know, if anybody can help us with growing our coin, that's going to help. If anybody wants to come in and maybe help us with one of our projects, wants to sponsor us, that'll help, you know. And so, yeah, so Leslie just showed you all the socials, and I want to thank people like yourself for giving us this opportunity to platform the work we're doing. You know, the content's out there constantly. It's hitting millions and millions of views on a weekly basis. I'm doing everything right. I'm exceeding any expectations that I had of myself, but there's a lot more work to do out there. But I do believe I'm on the right path, and I do believe I can get the job done. I'm just going to need the right people behind me helping me.
Yes, and I want to thank you so much for coming on. I think that I would love probably to have you on at least once a month or once every other month
Excellent.
to
Definitely.
touch base, see what you're doing, what we need to do to bring more awareness. Because if the safety of the children was treated as everyone's responsibility, not someone else's, what would each of us do differently tomorrow to help protect
Yeah.
and help, you do what you're doing? I want to thank you again for being vulnerable, for sharing
No problem.
the stories, and for coming on.
Whenever you want me on,
And
just give me a couple of days' notice, and I'll always make sure I make time for you, Leslie. You know that.
okay, definitely. Well, I'm going to bring you back on next month again to touch base and see where we
Excellent.
are and to see what we're doing as humans to bring more
Great.
awareness.
God bless all. Leslie, hope you have a great night. And I'm going to get my head down now. It's 1 a.m. in the morning in the UK. And then remember, everybody, tomorrow night, without fear and favour, 6 p.m. UK time on all platforms. This one is not to be missed.
And with that being said, this is Guramit Singh, the Predator Hunter. And if you are not supporting him in his cause, then what the fudge are you doing with your life? The Predator Hunter never
Thank you.
sleeps. But now today he is. Good
Take
night.
care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.